Good morning. Okay, I'm Cindy. I live in my van full-time and I also work full-time. So I'm just here to talk to you about what happened to me the other night, Friday night. Well, starting off Friday morning, I filled up my tank with gas and that was fine. Okay, went to work. By the afternoon, I had lost the keys to my van. My daughter met me in Salinas because I was doing a run to Salinas. She met me and gave me the spare key that I had at her house. Then went back to work and left work and went to park for the evening. And I was falling asleep when I heard my van getting thumped again, like bumped around. So I got up and I thought to myself, oh goodness, not again. So I went to my window and peeked out, and there was a man messing around at his Jeep parked right next to my driver's side. And I thought, well, he's probably just drunk or too close and he's bumping my van, trying to get out his luggage so he can go into the hotel. So I went back and sat down, and then more thumping, and I thought, oh my goodness, that's a lot of thumping around my van. And I opened the window again, and I had spotted the security officer afar, and I saw the man that was next to my van jump into his vehicle. It was, I think, like a Jeep, because he had left the back door open, and he took off the way it was, just open. And then the car that had pulled up next to him followed him. And I thought, this looks like, this doesn't look right. They were up to no good. So I said, well, but the security's there. They took off, so I'll be okay. I went and laid down. And I started smelling fumes, really bad fumes. So I said, well, maybe it's my propane, my butane, and nothing was wrong with my butane. So I went, I thought to myself, I'm going to get my keys. I'm going to leave. This is not good. So when I started my engine and took off, I felt like there was a box stuck underneath my van, like I was dragging something. And so I put it in park and went to take a look, and sure enough, there was a big old bucket, which probably some of you have seen the photos. There was a big old bucket underneath the van full of gas, because I had called security to come and help me to see what was inside the bucket. And I knew it was gas because I could smell it. And then there was a big old drip from where I took off. And yeah, he pulled it out and it was full of gas. I don't know if they already, filled up once and took one and was filling up the next when they spotted the security officer. I don't know. But that one was full of gas, and there was a hole. The guy told me that came and helped later that it was about the size of a dime or so. So they were just pouring it right out of my van. So I called my daughter. She was like, Mom, I don't know what to do. So I decided, well, I'm just going to call a tow truck to come and take it. So I called the towing service, and they gave me a link to answer these questions. And when I went to the link and answered the questions, it gave me a big red flag, call 911. So that's what I did. I called 911. The fire department came out, and there was really nothing they could do. All they could do was put some sand or whatever they put on the area where I was parked, and it all spilled out. And they couldn't do anything about the bucket that I had it, I had to dispose of it, or, how do you dispose of gas? But anyway, the night audit guy that had came to help me later on said, I'll try to patch up the hole so you could go park the van, and then I'll give it a good patch, and then maybe tomorrow morning we could put the gas back into your tank, the one that was in the tub. And so I said, sounds good. So I went ahead and rented a room, and they took care of everything. They were wonderful. They took care of everything. They put the gas into another container where they put it next to their shed in the back or whatever, out of sight of the guests. And so the next morning, another person that works there came and helped me. He was great too. And he was putting the gas back into the tank, thinking, you know, the plug that they put in there is patched up, so we'll put it back in. So we tried pumping it back in, and it just started leaking. It just started pouring out again. So he stuck the bucket underneath and was catching it again, and said, you know what, the stuff that we have to patch it up isn't working. The gas is just disintegrating it. So we couldn't use that. And he said, I'll see if I could get something else that'll work. And while he was gone, I went ahead and dialed the towing service again. But this time I didn't even mention any leaks or anything like that. And within minutes, I mean, very quickly, the tow truck came. And I said, I'm going to be honest with you now that you're here. I have a leak. We tried to put, you know, there's a big hole in the gas tank. Someone stole I gave him the whole rundown of what had happened. And he said, well, let me get it onto the truck and we'll see, you know, if it just keeps leaking, you know. So he drove it up onto the truck. He's awesome. He was awesome. It kind of poured out because, you know, the incline of the ramp that goes on, it like spilled a lot of it out. And he says, no, don't worry about it. This is going to dry up really quickly, so I don't need to worry. So yeah, that's about what happened. And I had tried 3 places. One hadn't got, well, garages. One hadn't got back to me. The other one wouldn't store my van until they can fix it. But GMC, Cardinelli's GMC are awesome. They just took care of me right away. Bring it in. We'll take care of it for you. And they didn't even hesitate. I've been going to them for over 10 years. So I know they're very good customer service. I was happy that they took the van. It's sitting over there until they can they're ordering the tank. They have to replace it because nobody will repair it because of, well, liability reasons. So that's good because repairing it is just going to bring more problems, right? So I'm replacing it. It's going to cost probably over, well, one estimate was $1,300. So, and then plus I had to rent a car during this time that it's getting fixed. So it's costing me a pretty penny, but I mean, what can you do? Do I want to give up? No. Am I still happy with my van? Yes. It chops my hide. You know that people will do things like this. And I'm learning lessons down the line of, like, for first of all, locking my doors. That's the first thing I thought when my van started moving around. I said, well, my doors are locked, you know, everything will be okay. And as I was getting up, I was thinking this, but then I had no idea that they were doing that. And people are telling me, well, why didn't you get out there and say something? But I had no idea, zero, that they were doing that they were stealing my gas. I had no idea. I just thought he was bumping into my van. And should I have gone out, you know, opened my window and, like, you know, what the heck, you know, quit bumping into my... I wasn't going to start anything like that if that's all it was. It happened. But I know now, too, when I park, don't park at an area where someone can just drive up alongside of you and puncture your gas or siphon your gas. You know, if something's in the way, or if your gas tank is towards something that they can't get in there, or I'm just thinking out loud that maybe it wouldn't have happened had I parked right next to a car, between cars. And you think that parking away from people would be maybe a lot better, but probably not, because it gave them an area to park next to, and then some other car came and parked right beside him, because when he left, that car followed him right in back of him. So I know they were like in cahoots together. So anyway, that's what happened, in case any of you are worried or wondering. I know I've gotten a lot of sorry it happened to you, but you know, I guess it could happen to anybody. But I'm like, why me? But it's teaching me a lesson, teaching me a good lesson. Like, do I still want to put up with all this? Yeah, right now I do. But I think it's harder when you're just trying to stay around town and keep sleeping in areas in town. And I think like when you're out on maybe BLM land or in state parks and stuff like that, maybe there's less of that. I don't know. I really don't get a lot of, see a lot of videos where they're sharing that kind of stuff, that something's, things are happening like that. I don't know. If there is, share with me, post the video, you know, the link to where I can watch these things. But I don't really see a lot of them happening like out there. I think a lot of people out there take care of each other. And here, I mean, the security officer didn't even walk over there to check, you know, over towards my way to check what these guys were up to. Maybe he had no idea. A night audit told me he had no idea what they were doing. You know, he thought the same thing as me. They're just getting their luggage to go into the hotel, and they weren't. They were up to no good. Ugh. Ugh. Okay. So anyway, if you like this video, sharing these kinds of things, please like, subscribe, and leave me a comment. What do you think about this? Has anything like this happened to you? Share with me. Okay. Have a good day.